me and Matt have talked about this. He's killing me. Like, I'm like, fuck, man, come on.
Listen,
like,
again,
it's hard. It's so hard though in the NFL. It's like going against Michael Jordan. And like, I'm gonna give you a point. It's like going against Michael Jordan. How in the fuck do you beat him at his apex? Especially when he's got Pippen and Rodman. How the fuck do you just don't? Like, the Pistons were able to do it because the rest of his horses weren't ready, and he wasn't either. He had to go. If you watch Last Dance, or really, I'm such a Jordan fanatic.
I'm with you.
He had to muscle up to physically take them on. And Mahomes, kind of like MJ, is just such a fucking nut for this shit. He hates losing.
And that's the problem. So when we want to fire somebody,
that's why Burrow is so impressive, because he's just not scared of him. He's not.
Because they lose to Mahomes. Remember what you have. Fire McDermott. Watch them go straight down in the hole.
Well, wait, time out. There were this coaching this cycle though. There were people out there that were better than some of the coaches in the positions that were there. I believe in Vrabel. There were some coordinators I liked better too. I don't know about Belichick if he still got it, but there were better people out there. Like, did Carroll get a job anywhere? Like, did Carroll didn't even get a coordinating job?
Okay, Carroll, Belichick, and Vrabel. And Vrabel, I'm sorry, I'm taking McDermott over Vrabel. Besides those two, who else is better than Sean McDermott?
I actually think Vrabel would have really fit in Buffalo, but God,
he would have been great in Atlanta.
You would have had to fucking
great in Atlanta.
Oh yeah,
Vrabel was a perfect coach for Atlanta.
All right, I've talked a lot. It's Med's turn. Med, you want to hit him with your 6-pack, or you want to do losers first?
We can go with losers first.
Okay, why don't you do it first? We went on a deep tangent.
Oh no, I mean, how's that getting cozy over here?
This is entertaining. Eric, man, I'm having a blast.
I'm having a blast.
So we had a show where we had our Raiders fan, and I honestly don't know if he did it on purpose. And he kept going at Pete. Do you know Pete Collins?
No, he hasn't met Pete yet.
He's a Patriots fan. You'd love him. He's great. And he said shit. And then I kind of did after he left. And he said shit that just like dug in there to piss him off. I'm not doing it to you on purpose. I swear. I think we're having a bit.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I'm having a blast. But it was great because he got the Patriots fans so riled up. And then Med fired him a question, was like riding the coattails of Brady. And I said something later that just got his eyebrows shooting straight up. It was fucking great.
When you meet my co-host, you'll understand. We go at it. So cool. This is all fun. This is a debate. I don't take anything personal. Yeah. And besides, sometimes getting under people's skin make the best content.
I got a McDermott thing I want to say later, because I was impressed with how he came back at the end of the season. It's just at some point you got to do, I don't know. It's tough. We'll talk about it later. All right, Matt, what's do you have multiple losers or one?
Yeah, I do. Well, you pretty much already said Dallas. I mean, when your biggest acquisition is Eric Kendricks, that should say enough right there.
And have you seen the Cowboys fans that have talked about Eric Kendricks as like this baller?
Yeah,
they talk about everybody like that.
I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Second coming of Hollywood Henderson. I mean, God. The Denver Broncos was actually my number 2. What did you have to do to really justify being an $85 million dead cap hit? I mean, that's one thing, but
Sean Payton.
The one team that I feel worse for anybody is actually the Giants fans right now. And I mean, they got Brian Burns, but if you look at any of their signings in there, you lost Saquon, you replace him with Devin Singletary. Yeah, he had a decent year last year with the Texans, but it's Devin Singletary. You need a receiver, you go out and get Isaiah McKenzie. Ooh. I mean, everything else is pretty much garbage. And the whole fact that they spent all that money on Vanilla Vic, Daniel Jones, and just blew all that money on him instead of Saquon, which they should have did. It's the Giants, man. I mean, they're going to have a new coach after next year. I mean, I like Dabo, but I think they definitely They definitely screwed a pooch on this one. So I mean, it's Giants.
Thanks for letting me cook this episode back too. I've had a lot of fun. I needed this. Going back live, like doing all these pre-records are they're fun, but live just has a different energy to it. So
yes, it does.
Okay, I've got a weird loser for you guys. Well, I just don't know where the Giants are going. Do you think they're going to cut Daniel Jones? Like, I've been hearing rumors about it. I'm like, what are they doing? I don't think they can because I think the dead cap hit would be.
It'd be like what the Denver Broncos are going through right now, which I think is roster suicide at this point for the next couple of years.
So I don't think they're a loser. I think if you tie in getting Harbaugh, they're not a loser. But the Chargers dumping both the receivers, I know they had to. They had to make some moves. But what are you doing for Herbert? Like, it sucked because they had to make a choice. Eric said it earlier. They're paying 4 guys and Herbert. And 4 of the guys weren't even quarterbacks that had over $30 million cap hits. So with their dummy, this one sucks because they had to do roster cleanup. But Quentin Johnson was a huge bust for them last year. So are they going to go land 2 receivers in the draft? That's going to be tough because now that's what they're up against. They don't have a receiver that I don't think is honestly a 2 on any roster. Do you guys see a 2? I don't think Palmer Johnston, unless he wakes up.
I don't even see a 3.
So they don't even have a 2. I don't even see a 3. They have fucked Herbert so bad. Like, I don't know how Harbaugh is going to pull this off this year. I believe in him because of what he's done in every program he's been in. He's turned it around. So that's my faith. But just based on the free agency moves, the Chargers have got to be a loser. Flipping Keenan Allen for a 4th round pick. Bears were like, what are all these dumb GMs doing? Just, give us another asset. Yeah, we'll pay him. Yeah. 4th rounder. Good.
I mean, cool. The Bears are, that's one of the things that we like Ryan Poles so much. I mean, he's really adopted the whole Kansas City Chiefs way of actually doing it. You build through the draft. But at the same time, I'm looking at what the Chargers are doing right now. They brought in Gus Edwards. So I think they're going to start trying to run the ball a little bit more instead of pass happy.
And they lost Eckler.
They are in a very good position to grab 2 top-notch receivers with their draft position. I think they're going to go a little bit different route when it comes to the draft, but that's just me. I think that really and truthfully, I'll go ahead and just say it. Whenever the mock comes up, Chargers are actually one of the teams I'm picking with. I think their first pick is going to be Brock Bowers because it just seems like that would be a really big hardball move.
I think you're announcing your pick early. I like it. So I got Chargers. It wasn't a winner. I said earlier, I really did like some of the moves the Bears made. Getting Keenan Allen was really slick. I like that move. I still question what y'all are doing with running back, but I think that might be something we see in the draft. Maybe even in our mock draft. Who knows? Watch our mock draft. The 83 people are still with us, which is my record. I'm attributing that to Eric and Med holding down the fort.
Not me.
The 83 people, 82 right now that are watching. It's not me, actually. Like I have no other tabs open for once. So that's 82 other people. So thank you, because I needed that in my return.
The podcast voice tabs are touched right now.
Yes. Oh, dude, we fucking slipped. We forgot about Ohana. We're gonna have to do that in a minute. We joined a Packer network too. Me and Med did. So shout out to Ohana Sports Network, and I'm so sorry we forgot. It's my first one back. But I really did like what the Bears did. I'm not sure what the Vikings are doing. And are they really going to go JJ McCarthy? Like, I'm from Michigan, dude. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, dude. I wouldn't know. They're fucked though, because there's only 3 quarterbacks. I think that, and it's weird. In drafts, there's always out of the top 3, one of them's not going to work out. Not
they're going to trade up with the Patriots and get Drake May.
I hope so, for their sake. I mean, I'm not a Minnesota fan.
Patriots and get Drake May.
I agree with that.
Or like in our mock draft, Drake May falls to 11. I'm just kidding. It was a stupid mock draft for Drake May fell. It's never going to happen. Eric, did you have a big loser before we?
Yeah, I got. Well, you already said Denver. Of course, Denver, I think, is a loser. You said the Chargers. So you said the Chargers, which I 100% agree they're a loser. I'm going to tell you where they're the biggest loser at.
The Raiders.
No, well, that we're gonna get in that one too. But I'm gonna tell you where the biggest for the Chargers. It's not even that they had to do salary cap maneuvering because we knew that would happen. It's who they hired as coach. This coach has never had to do salary cap removal like this. So when you look when he got the Niners, they were a young team that weren't paying a lot of people. So he's never he has to retool all the time. He's never had to work this because he was at the Niners very, very short period of time. So I think him coming in with the head that he has, it's a lot different than when he came in from Stanford and he was unknown trying to prove himself. I think that was the biggest loser. I think they absolutely picked the wrong coach. But I know everybody's like, "Oh, he's great." Yeah, we'll find out.
No, that's a good point because, like, what are they going to do? And honestly, like, I know it's a little fucked. He's had a bad coach, but Herbert also is a career losing record. I know you can't just attribute that to quarterback, but
no, you can.
I personally don't see him as a top 5 guy. I just don't. And I had a huge debate on Twitter with people. Fucking Chargers fans lose their fucking minds, and Cowboys fans, when you talk about their fucking quarterback like it's a savior, I'm like, dude, I'm not telling you Jordan Love is the second coming. I like what I've seen. I want to see more. I don't even want to know what to pay.
Wait till you pay Jordan Love $55 million and that's all you have on your team.
God, see, I hope they don't.
Then you won't let nobody talk about your quarterback.
And I fucking hope they keep him around 40 and get him right now before maybe they can still do it and do a cheaper deal. I don't know if he's going to do it though. So it's hard when you're an GM because you have to pay these damn quarterbacks. And like you said,
you don't have to pay them.
It's like the NBA. You can't just max every fucking guy. Not every guy's worth it. And not every quarterback is worth it. There's only a few. Like, they're tiers. Kirk Cousins is not on the same damn tier as Mahomes. It's really just Mahomes and Burrow, and I'd argue maybe Allen, but he hasn't really done in the playoffs. But I there's a lot of talent there.
He's below. He's below. Allen's below.
But like, there's like a whole tier below. Like, you've got Allen, you got Jackson. I don't even think I think Dak's like.
But you had to pay Hurts because he went to the Super Bowl.
And you have to pay these guys, and then it fucks their team. Like Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's worth it. He's not.
No, but you had to pay him.
They had to. They were fucked. They had to. They had no other choice. So,
but no, my biggest loser overall, which I like fucking with Raiders fans, so fuck all y'all bitches. Okay, and this is the reason why they have hope again. They have belief. They think
absolutely.
They think they're the shit again. Oh my God, D tackle Christian Wilkinson. Oh my God, him and Max Crosby are gonna tear the motherfucking shit up. I'm sorry, that was supposed to happen with Chandler Jones and Gaku and a whole bunch of other motherfucking people that y'all were supposed to get. John Gruden. John Gruden's a coach. We're gonna pay him. Oh, we got no. Oh, Josh McDaniels. Oh my God. Oh no. Jimmy G. Oh no. Stop it. Y'all, they are one of the luckiest teams. Antonio Pierce has to be the luckiest team ever, interim coach ever. Like, let's think about it. You play a team in the Chargers that quit on you. You put up more points in one game than you put up in like 7 games combined. You actually lost to the Vikings with Joshua freaking Dobbs and scored 0 points. Somehow you beat the Chiefs with your quarterback throwing 2 passes in the second half. What is going on here? So they gave them this false sense of hope, just like when they had Rich Bisaccia and they went to the playoffs and they gathered around. They have no quarterback. None. They signed. I don't know. They have none. I don't even know. None. They have no running back because they decided to let their running back go. The running back didn't want to be there. There's a reason why the running back didn't want to be there. They still have Devontae Adams.
Hey, that's not running back.
Devontae Adams, but we don't know how long he's going to be there. They got rid of Hunter Renfrow. They traded Darren Waller last year for a piece of peanuts. They're and honestly, what did you see out of Antonio Pierce that made people say he was a good coach? Tell me one game plan that you saw at any point in time that said, this is a great coach. With all the talent you had out there to get for coaching, you had Vrabel, Belichick. You said Antonio Pierce is our guy.
I mean, that's my argument for the Cowboys. They kept Mike McCarthy. They kept Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I know he won a Super Bowl, but he rode the coattails. And yes, I'm using Med's phrase. He rode the coattails of Aaron Rodgers before he got a big head and at his apex with some all-time awesome players on defense and some stud receivers to beat a decent Pittsburgh team. That's Mike McCarthy's one call to fame, and they kept him with only 1 year left, so you're not having to pay him a lot. And instead of hiring any of all these coaches out there, hell, you know what would have been a good coach? One that doesn't have to do salary cap maneuvers for LA. And Jim Harbaugh would have been perfect for the Cowboys. Perfect.
No. He needs to go like
better than for the Chargers, though.
No,
like there were so many coaches out there. That my point is, there's so many coaches. There were so many coaches out there, and they kept Mike McCarthy. When, my God, my team was good, but they were not that good, and they made Dallas look fucking terrible. Like
McCarthy is a yes man. That's why.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's why Jerry wants to keep him. And outside of the one game against the Chiefs where the defense played hell fucking lacious, like they were making, that's the recipe, but it's so hard to do. Tampa Bay did the same thing to Mahomes. You got to make him run for his fucking life. And that is so hard to do. You either make him run for his life or you have a quarterback that does not give a rat's ass motherfucker like Joe Burrow, and he's not scared of him. And yes, I said rat's ass motherfucker. He just does not fucking care. He is not afraid of the guy. And that's one thing that's impressive because, like, back to the Michael Jordan thing, there were a lot of guys that were afraid of him. Reggie Miller wasn't. He still lost, but he went down swinging.
I think Mike McCarthy in Dallas has
it works for Jerry. It works for Jerry.
No, it does, but I think he has a Dak problem. I don't think he has. I don't think. I'm not saying that he's a great coach.
He's not.
But I think that is. I think a lot of blame should go on Dak.
And it's in his head. And I was talking about this. He's so mentally fragile. It's like Kirk, dude. He reminds me of Kirk. I made the Kirk Cousins analogy. Dak Prescott's like Kirk Cousins.
You better be careful now. Remember what happened last time we started talking about that?
No. I'm doing like, fuck it. I got upset because I made a video. It did go viral. I should be excited, actually. I kind of am now. It had like almost 150,000 views. Seriously. 145,000. And people were just shitting on me. But my
Isaac and I responded. Basically went toe to toe with Cowboy Nation.
We went to war. There's so many idiots out there.
Hey, listen, Isaac.
Cowboys fans too, but
let me tell you something. I wake up on a daily and choose violence. So if you ever want to go to war with somebody, just hit me up and I am down. I will jump in that foxhole with you any day of the week and battle.
Ned joined me. I was like, my brother. My brother from South Carolina.
We had a video go viral. We were talking boxing and people were talking shit about he doesn't know what he's talking about. But I take it to heart. Like, I don't take it to heart like that. I start going, well, look, you must have liked my shit enough to comment. So like, just
that now.
So I will go in and talk shit just to keep it going.
No, I'm gonna embrace it now because if this grows, which is my goal, I'm gonna have haters. And I've got another buddy who gets pissed, and we're gonna have haters. And I'm just gonna have to accept it because I want to do this. I like it, even if it's just for a hobby. I enjoy this, so I'm here to stay.
There's a guy on ESPN, Dan Orlowski, that straight up told me I kind of live by what he said when he said this. He said, "No matter what you say or what you write, someone's always going to say that you're wrong." Mm-hmm. So I'm wrong a lot.
I am too. I take a lot of L's.
And I made one inaccurate point in the comment. I got it from Bill Simmons. He's one of the, I do listen to a few guys, but Bill Simmons is on the regular. He's fun. And this was nuts. God damn it, I can't remember the take now, but I flipped on one thing in there. A quarterback that stayed with his team who didn't make at least the conference championship, got on to win a Super Bowl. And I fucking missed the stayed with his team little part because Stafford did go win a Super Bowl. And there were guys I did. Elway went to Super Bowls, and then he won one later on.
Yeah.
But no guy's ever done that. So Dak Prescott's not going to be the fucking one to break history. Not this guy. He's not. He's going to go get paid somewhere else, put up some great stats against shitty teams like he does now, probably get you to the wild card. Maybe he'll win one more. That's it. Just like Kirk.
Reason why he's 2-5.
Like to win one more playoff game with Kirk Cousins. Serious.
Tom Brady ruined winning Super Bowls, just like Michael Jordan ruined winning NBA championships. Everybody thinks it's so easy. And of course, you have Mahomes that's ruining it too because he's got 3 out of 5 years. Everybody thinks it's so easy. So they expect for their team. It used to be a time where that Super Bowl, we were happy with getting the playoffs, being contenders. And that Super Bowl was the icing on the top. Like Elway. went out on top. Yeah, you were great. Then you had Steve Young that had the monkey on his back because of Joe Montana, but he only got one. He only needed one, and he got that.
But now Rodgers and Favre only got one. They kept flaming in the playoffs. It's hard.
And and we talk shit about the Packers for that. Y'all have had 30 years of good quarterbacks, and you have two.
They fucked up, dude, and that was partly organizational. Partly organizational, but Brett Favre, he was such a wild card. He threw picks that got us out of playoff games. He threw 6 picks. Did you know this? He threw 6 because I've watched Packers since I was born. He threw 6 picks in one playoff game. That Giants game, threw a pick at the end in overtime. Now, it's not like he lost the game. Love just did the same damn thing. But for the Vikings, they could have easily beaten the Saints. What do you do in overtime? Pick across the field. It's all it's you lost because of that throw. Now you could have put yourself in a better situation not be there, but it was only him that made that decision to do that. Now Rodgers to me is kind of like a Peyton Manning, where he flamed out in the playoffs multiple times, and it's kind of like James Harden never won it's like a really good regular season dude, and he fades a bit in the playoffs, and that's like all-time great in the regular season. Rodgers is there, honestly, just statistically, but they both faded in the postseason, and it just happened too many times. It wasn't just that last game against San Fran. Rodgers did this so many times.
Rodgers faded against nobodies. Peyton lost to Brady. There was like a 12-year period where either Peyton, Brady, or Roethlisberger represented them in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There was I get it, but again, that's different. Rodgers was losing to fucking Brock Purdy and somebody else and somebody else and somebody else. He lost to Brock Purdy. He lost to Jimmy G.
He kept losing to Garoppolo.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He would lose. He would lose to stupid people. Who did he lose when they went 13-1 or whatever?
The one against Seattle really killed me because they were
Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Oh God, Matt Ryan.
No, so I get your comparison, but
Matt Ryan.
Manning lost to Brady in greatness. Mm-hmm. He's like the John Stockton, where him getting one in Indianapolis was fucking amazing because of who he had to go against with the talent that he had. But
then he wrote
Aaron Rodgers is one of those where if he was not such a biatch, he probably would have won 2-3. The problem isn't Manning's team would run through a wall for him. Rodgers' team opened the door to kick him the fuck out. Okay, so
I was ready. I was like the year before. I was like, and now I'm golden because we got Love.
Of course, you got Jordan Love because you guys know how to draft quarterbacks and let them sit on a bench for 4 years.
Exactly. All right, Med. I think it's 6-pack time.
Okay.
Unless you got anything else before.
No. I mean, the only other person I could think of, like he was talking about, that Rodgers kept running into was the GOAT killer himself, Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Can you believe, of all the things, if somebody told you, here's weird stats in history, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weird ones. I watched Moneyball the other night. I forgot about this one. It's a baseball thing, which I don't throw on the show too often. But it blew my mind that Oakland Athletics team with Billy Beane in 2002 won 20 straight. And I think it was 1929 Yankees with the Murderers Row with Babe Ruth only won 9 in a row that year. That was the record. And that was one of the best teams in MLB history. Just blows my mind. But that's just kind of nuts. But can you believe that Eli Manning, if somebody had told you weirdest NFL things in history, Eli Manning's going to go beat Tom Brady twice. And Tom Brady in the Super Bowls against the NFC East is going to be 0-3. You would bet like so much money against that if somebody told you that, but right, like after Brady's 3 rings, you'd be like, fuck no. In the beginning of his career, no way. It's one of the weirdest fucking things ever.
I don't know, because nobody thought he was going to get to 6.
And I'm saying like after his first 3, when he was, you were like, how many is this guy going to get? And he ended up with 7, which is amazing. But just the way that he went, it's just the fact that he went down to Eli and Nick Foles.
I think the one that was most surprising was when they were undefeated. That one was completely surprising.
I felt it coming. It was like the same. It was a similar game too.
I just can't believe Eli Manning's getting in the Hall of Fame because he beat Brady twice. It's the only reason why he's getting in the Hall of Fame.
And do you know what's crazy? Between those Super Bowls, how many playoff games did he appear? Did they even make the playoffs?
He's 116 and 116 as a quarterback. He has a 500 record. The definition of average. except for he has 2 rings over Brady.
Well, there you go. I mean,
those 2 wins. If he doesn't win those rings, he's never in the Hall of Fame.
Hell no. What's his best season? Did he even have 30 touchdowns in a season ever?
I don't know. I know both of the times he went to the playoffs and went on those runs, he was a wild card team.
I'm checking it out. I gotta know this shit.
Yeah.
All right, man. What's your 6-pack?
All right, so I'm gonna just start off with a softball question. First one: how did you become a Chiefs fan?
I grew up in Missouri. So I was born, my dad was military. I was born in St. Louis. We lived on an Air Force base called Whiteman Air Force Base. It's an hour and a half away from KC, closest Air Force base in Missouri. So we always had the Chiefs mascot and everything come to our school. Also, my dad is a Raiders fan. He was a diehard Raiders fan, and he used to always take us to the Chiefs game. My dad decided against the Washington. I'm about to age myself real quick, guys. Washington used to be Redskins, formerly known as the football team, now the Commanders. They were playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl, and I was getting potty trained in the 80s. And I couldn't get off the potty because every time I got off the potty, the Raiders did bad. So I spent the second half of the game on a wooden
tied
potty.
Down to the potty.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand it. I do it now. I've done it now. But that ultimately led me to not really like that team. And because the Chiefs in the time, that's how I became.
You and me are about the same age then.
Yep.
so
yeah, okay. So you understand.
I'm late. I was born late 80s. So yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 1980. So
I'm
going to give you another. Well, this one ain't really a softball one, but this is kind of a fact of opinion. Who was a better tight end, Tony Gonzalez or Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce. It's not even fair. That is one of the positions that you cannot compare, because they're asked to do so many different things now. If Tony Gonzalez played in, I know what they're saying, like he's got great stats, but watching both of them, Travis Kelce is unstoppable. Tony Gonzalez was just the only player on that team for a lot of times. Like, we forget that he wanted to leave because he wanted to go get a chance to win a Super Bowl when he went to Atlanta. So Tony, he was the number one target on everything. I think they're both great, but I think that position is so much different now, where they expect you to do more than they did back then. It was kind of a surprise with him. So the defenses weren't as set up for him.
All right. So we're going to go back a little bit. And this is some of the questions I have, we kind of skirted around. And this is, it's kind of interesting. Like, you brought up a point about, quarterbacks, coming in with the playoffs. Now we're going to take you back to 2017. What was your initial thought as a Chiefs fan when the Chiefs traded up to select a quarterback from Texas Tech with a 10th overall pick when you had Alex Smith coming off 3 playoff visits in 4 years?
Before the 3 Super Bowls.
Just to let you know something, okay? This is highly, highly unfair. And my podcast partner tells me all the time how unfair it is that I blame him for this. But fuck Alex Smith, okay? I couldn't stand him. I didn't want him when we traded for him. I was like, the dude got hurt. Nobody knew who Colin Kaepernick was. And they said, we're not putting him back on. In my lifetime watching Alex Smith, I have seen 2 leads be blown, okay? There was a 28-point lead against the Colts when Travis Kelce went out in the second half, and Andrew Luck decided to come back and start whooping our ass for no reason. And then there was a lead against Marcus Mariota where that dummy caught a self-pass touchdown against himself and never played another season after that, basically. The next year, he was they traded for Ryan Tannehill, put him in, and he was done.
I remember that play.
So
actually.
I hated Alex Smith, but I did not know who
he knew a ceiling. He had a ceiling.
Yeah, he had a ceiling. I knew he was the guy that he could win. He wasn't going to win you a game, but he was
Dak Prescott before Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak Prescott will lose you a game.
I love the Dak Prescott. Let's keep throwing Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert.
Fuck Cowboys fans.
I love it. Just keep doing it, man.
But then when Patrick Mahomes got drafted, I don't watch college football much. So that's the first quarterback we took in the first round since 1984. So to give you an idea of who we took in the first round in 1984, that's the Dan Marino draft. That's the John Elway draft. That's all those people. And somehow we picked Todd Blackledge from Penn State. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was the first. So I immediately texted my friend and said, who the hell is this guy? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, who is Patrick Mahomes? He goes, Eric, I don't know how good he is. He played at Texas Tech. He put up good numbers, but, a lot of people put up in the Big 12. I'm like, we haven't We have never drafted a quarterback in my whole entire life. I was too young to remember 1984. So I was 2 my whole entire life. So I got excited, but I was like, Alex Smith, get the fuck out of here.
It's the same thing with Jordan Love when it happened. I was like, and when they did Rodgers, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And then it worked out. Then we did Jordan Love, but there was the same thing I heard about Mahomes. There was this like, it wasn't loud chatter, but there was chatter about the dude's arm talent. And when I hear that, I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm like, with the Packers now, fuck. Yeah. In 10 years when they do this again, and I'm in my 40s, I'll be like, they know what they're doing. Just trust them. They fuck other shit up, but they get this one right. Just trust it at this point. Trust it. In like 10, 11 years when they do another one, when Jordan Love is in his mid-30s and they draft his replacement, it's same bullshit's going to happen. He'll probably go to the Jets all angry and pissed off and fucking piss. And it'll be like a it'll be a blaze of glory.
He'll get injured and do some stupid stuff like a dark retreat or send a text to Jen Skelter or whatever her name
is. Man, he makes Brett Favre like if it wasn't for all this other bullshit with Brett Favre.
No, nobody makes Brett Favre look good. No.
Not now, especially not now with all the shit going on with him.
Oh the scandal, yeah.
Yeah, that looks bad.
I will never look at him the same. I normally can separate morality and being a great player.
I know.
I'm fine with that. But in this scenario,
it's so hard because he was like, if you go back and watch his highlights, Favre was like, when he wasn't throwing interceptions, which was frequent, he was special. He really was. But
he was special even when he threw them.
Yeah. So was Rodgers, honestly. He's just not anymore. I got to see it to believe it.
Rodgers is just a bitch. That's
the
problem.
He's
just a
baby.
He's a guy like
baby back bitch.
Like, how does like I get why like Lazard likes him because he wouldn't have a career without him, and Cobb at this point. Maybe Adams.
I would like him too if he got me $40 million over 3 years.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. He's getting these receivers paid. That's a good point.
You know, there's always those couple people that can deal with the assholes that nobody else can deal with. You know that.
True.
And normally those people get taken care of very good by that asshole.
And Devontae Adams sure got taken care of too. And Randall Cobb is still in the NFL because of him. And Lazard trying to ship him out. He's getting $10 million a year, and the motherfucker can't even play.
But if you fumble on a kickoff return, he'll trade your ass in the middle of a season.
Absolutely. See, that's why I respected Michael Jordan so much, because he was like, he pushed Scotty, and he knew he needed Scotty and Rodman later on, and obviously Horace when he was younger. But he did not fuck around with his team. He was like, you're fucking gonna try, or you're not on my fucking. He was he pushed everybody.
He was a dog.
I respect that, honestly.
And you need to be. 5 seasons, 4 Super Bowls, 3 titles. Where does Patrick Mahomes rank on the top 10 all-time quarterbacks list, in your opinion?
Okay, so the problem that you have is this is going to be completely biased. I'm not stupid. Tom Brady's the GOAT. We all know that.
Oh, we know that.
Tom Brady's the GOAT. But then what are we basing this off of? Are we basing this off of rings? Are we basing it off of careers? Because even though it's going to sound crazy, I'm about to say, if right now you had a draft and could pick any quarterback, and Brady's probably going to be your first pick, most people's first pick, who's your second pick? Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you take him over Joe?
Mahomes is your second pick.
You got to respect what Joe Montana did. You have to. So he has to, like, his name has to come up. People told me about Dan Marino. I'm like, you got to be the best once. So I can't throw you in there. Elway deserves a name drop. He does. Mm-hmm. But it's Mahomes.
And it's not even just because he wins. It's every record that he's broken. Every record. Like for 3 years, he didn't lose in September or December. He hadn't thrown an interception in September. For like the records he breaks are now. Granted, could we say it's Andy Reid in the situation he got drafted into?
It's a perfect situation.
But every draft, everybody has a perfect situation at some point in time to succeed.
Look at Baker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would be my thing. Like I could be biased because I'm a Chiefs fan, but outside of Brady. Who's been to more quarterbacks in Super Bowls than Mahomes? Montana went to 4.
Elway went to 5.
So it's 1 away.
Yeah, but I mean, also the way I look at it, and the whole reason why I said this is a lot of people like me, whenever you get the greatness, that's something a lot of people like to throw around right now, and I don't agree with it.
Oh yeah,
when they're like, oh yeah, he's great, you know. And me and you had a nice discussion before we did the receivers, top 15 receivers, when I was talking about Sterling Sharp, because it was like, you know, he was so great for a short period of time. And to me, he's one of those guys that is up there with the Terrell Davises and the Gale Sayers that should be in the Hall because of what he was able to do in a short period of time. And with Mahomes, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not being biased. You're being honest. And the fact that he's been in 4 Super Bowls in 7 years, 1 year of which he wasn't even starting, is fucking impressive. You know, you look at, you know, for a while there, I would actually say that Manning, I would go Brady, Montana, Manning, and then Elway.
It's 6.
And then like somewhere down below, yeah, Mahomes is there. But the fact that he's been able to accomplish what he has accomplished, and the fact that he did it when his biggest weapon left after the debacle against Tampa Bay,
and then he went back to back.
Hill went to Miami, and he went back to the Super Bowl 2 times and won it with shit receivers. Says enough.
I mean, you didn't like Juju? Or McCole Hardman? I'm sorry, I had to put around.
I can't stand.
I'm sorry.
I just had to. TikTok dances as a grown ass old man. There is an age limit that it is no longer cool to do certain TikTok, and that's just I could just be.
I did one earlier today in my backyard.
It's like, no, if you do it for fun, that's fine. But he has a career out of it. This dude is serious about his dance. Hey guys, I'm gonna do a TikTok dance at my new house. Shut up! You are 37 years old. Go catch some damn footballs. Go run some routes. There's other stuff you could do.
Or drop
Go
them.
rest. Go recover. Go do something like that. Like it's like going to a play place. You know, there's a certain age limit where going to a play place is okay, and there's a certain age limit where it's fucking creepy. That's kind of like TikTok dances. So,
yeah, I make TikToks of football shit. I don't do dances.
Yeah, football. If you're using it for social, like if you every so often got in a trend, that's fine. But when you go down your whole thing and your whole idea is TikTok dances, and most of the people that are watching those TikTok dances are under a certain age, and you're a 37-year-old man, that is creepy. That is creepy. I'm sorry, creepy.
Yep. No, I get it. I'm just curious how many he's going to end up with. It's going to be really interesting to see what the NFL can do to stop this three-peat. It's going to be interesting if they can.
Hold up. That's one of the questions later.
Ooh, sorry.
So, but first, for the most part, y'all pretty much retained players with Chris Jones, and for a second there, Ladarius Sneed, which is also part of that question. Marquise Brown and Irv Smith are pretty much all the moves that the Chiefs did, bringing talent into their organization. Is there anyone that you wish they would have went outside their team and actually brought them in?
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, we hit this one.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said we kind of
so bad. I didn't know you're.
That's the only. I mean, Derrick Henry. I would have loved Derrick Henry on the salary. Yeah, because running him in the goal line and power. Yeah, I would have loved that.
That would have been fun. Can you imagine Pacheco in like a Marion Barber role, just hitting that defense? Henry could have been the starter, or he could have flipped it. But Pacheco could have been like hitting the defense, kind of like Pollard. Pollard was the explosive version of that. Pacheco would have been the violent version of that, just hitting that defense when they were tired. They could have started the game off with Henry, or vice versa. Man, that would have been a fun.
I also want to know what happened to all the receivers and all the skill positions that signed for cheap. What happened to them? Because I don't see any more of them. Why is DeAndre Hopkins getting $16 million? You should be signing with us for $5. What are you talking about?
These guys don't want to win rings, man.
They don't care.
It's like fucking Calvin Ridley going to fucking Tennessee. You ain't winning anything. He just wanted the bag.
Yeah, that's the only
L'Jarius Sneed going to Tennessee. What are you gonna do? Not win. You'll be an awesome corner, probably, but like you're not going to do shit in Tennessee unless I'm wrong on Levis, and I don't think so.
I can't get mad at him for that because
he won his 2 rings, and then he's like,
"You got 2 rings, and now you just like I can't get mad at Hill because he wanted his bag. Like Hill said it perfectly on the thing. They're like, "Would you rather trade in the bag that you got or keep the rings?" He's like, "The bag," because once you get one at a certain position. Steve's never going to get credit for all that stuff. Yeah, he's a great all-pro, but it's not going to be like, oh, Snead's the greatest cornerback of all time. He will probably never get in that. You'll never get in that conversation, even though he's extremely talented. So now you go get your money. You're already sold up. You're not. Your legacy isn't. You're not a Deion Sanders. You're not somebody like that. Your legacy is not sold up like that. You could also be in a position where great defensive coach Steve Spagnuolo with our front four that helps you with all of that stuff. You play great defense. I know that, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not mad at him. Go get your money. I'm not paying you that much money. You lost your damn mind. $23 million for a point.
Exactly. And if you catch the ball, maybe he'll get more.
Can you imagine Barkley on that team with fucking Patrick Mahomes?
Anything I wanted would have been a luxury. It would have all been a luxury.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good.
But yeah,
good
Saquon Barkley coming.
Man, we think alike on that.
So no doubt the true catalyst of the Chiefs' run through the playoffs was their defense. And with the trade of Ladarius Sneed, how much does it hurt hurt that defense as the Chiefs aim for a three-peat?
So I don't think it hurts as much as what people think it does. I understand that he was the number one quarterback. I have actually had to talk Chiefs fans down in bars and explain to him why he is so good. They're like, he sucks. I'm like, he guards the number one receiver and doesn't give up a touchdown. So, and those are the part of the fans that I said that aren't smart when it comes to football and they just want to say stupid stuff, and every team has them. We have a lot of them.
I have a saying with that is that when you let your fandom cloud your football judgment.
Okay, yes. That's a great saying. I might steal that. So I think that's why I said I think we're going to go offense. I think we're going to draft a DB. We still had Trent McDuffie. We still have some solid DBs. We have one of the youngest DB cores. So we knew this was coming. We've been preparing for Snead to leave for 2 years. So, I mean, we did it with Mathis when we brought in Justin Reed. We did it with a couple other, they're escaping my name, Rashad Breeland, a couple other people that we had.
Thornhill.
So we've done it. Yeah, we've done it with a couple of them. So that doesn't bother me. I just think it's going to be more reverted to offense now. We're going to go more with the offense. You're going to see, I don't want to say like 2018 or 2019 where we were putting up, but we're not putting up 24. There's never going to be, I don't think this is going to be a game this year where I go, if they get over 21 points, we lose. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think we're going to completely go in the opposite direction and go back to scoring points, but still keep our defense, knowing that our defense is going to take time to gel, kind of like what they had to do 2 years ago when we had McDuffie and all of them being young.
And I think picking Chris Jones, if you were going to pick between L'Jarius Sneed, because you still got McDuffie and Jones, I think it was the right call.
You always pick defense attack.
It sucks because Sneed's huge, and cornerbacks really do matter. Like my team's about to deal with this in a second here in this draft. But
they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say.
Harder to come by, it feels like.
Yeah, no, cornerback, you can sit there and you can, you got Snead, you got Jalen Johnson in Chicago. You got a handful of guys that you can actually lump into a group of players. Chris Jones, you look at him and you don't see any other defensive tackle even remotely close to him. He is Everest.
We don't win the AFC Championship.
Aaron Donald was the last other guy, but he just retired.
Yeah, we don't win against the Bengals in the championship, and we don't win against the Niners without Chris Jones.
Yeah, just like the Rams don't win that title without Donald. They just don't.
I can't say that with me.
He secured the game for him. He made 2 plays in the very last 2 plays of the game. He locked that down. He absolutely did. Now, obviously, Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford had something to say about it too, but they would never would have won that title without Donald.
No.
And that play where he got pressure on Purdy and he missed that wide open touchdown.
Yeah. That was a totally different play. Totally different play.
Saved it.
That pretty much does it with my questions, but I do have one more for you. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of Chiefs players? Is Alex Smith on there by chance?
No, fuck Alex Smith. Fuck that bitch. Fuck him. So this would be the issue. So I have it based off of, and this is not based off of anything that any stats or anything like that. 2 of my players will never get taken off of the Mount Rushmore because they were people that I fell in love with when I was young. So Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, and JJ Burden. JJ Burden is actually and I've talked to him on Twitter through my podcast and stuff like that. But and I've told him, you are actually the person that was the person when I was a kid that when we went and played football, I was JJ Burden. That's cool. Always, I wanted to use the same number as you when I got into high school. That was the reason why. Even though you weren't on my team anymore, that made me want to become a receiver. So, and then of course, Patrick Mahomes, and then Derek Thomas. Derek Thomas is never leaving either. Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't think my Mount Rushmore is ever going anywhere. Yeah. Ever. I mean, even if I said, okay, maybe one of these guys move off, there would be some other people like Eric Berry. You would have Jamal Charles. You would have. So I mean, but with the two I have for being a kid, and then Derek Thomas was my first Chiefs jersey I ever owned. I got it as a sophomore in high school, and then Patrick Mahomes is the first quarterback jersey I ever owned for the Chiefs. I have a litany of jerseys, but
I used to have so much fun with y'all at running back in fantasy because you guys had, well, you had Jamal Charles, obviously. You guys had Larry Johnson for a hot minute, and Priest Holmes, man, like too much fun. Seriously. I like that. Good questions, man. Man,
very
this
good
was
question.
A lot of fun returning. This was I had a blast. And Matt told me, he's like, you're gonna have fun, but he curses. I was like, okay, I just won't put it on my Facebook. It was fun to
I'm a sailor.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I've tried to stop cursing sometimes, and the funny part about it is it just doesn't work.
No, trust me.
I'll even go in and be like, I'm gonna stop trying to curse. And I'll start coming up with other words, and I'll be like, this is just stupid. Yeah, I'm good.
Well, it's like my mom once told me. She was like, well, you know, when you cuss, it's a sign of your intelligence. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was
I've heard that.
and I remember she was like, you should make up, instead of saying that word,
I've heard that from the older generation,
or fudge or something like that. I said, Mom, I work in construction. I get my ass beat. Stop it.
Yeah, I've heard that. If you cuss, you have a limited vocabulary. Shut up right now, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, I know somebody who has a great vocabulary.
I can come up with some curse words for you. Would you like to hear some of them?
His name is Stephen A. Smith, and he sounds like an idiot half the time. So
Stephen A. Man, he wrecked ESPN for me. I used to watch that years ago.
He has the greatest vocabulary in the world.
The Ringer. He does, but I started going to like the Ringer and other like sports media before I went into this, and I was like, it's not really him. I bet if he had his own show, not on ESPN, it'd be a little better. ESPN just puts on a bad product.
He's that way for 20 years. That's who he is now.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I think Skip Bayless is the same way. I used to watch
exactly. Colin Cowherd. They all do the same. Yeah. That's who they are.
Yeah, it's not entertaining, really. It's not.
No,
and actually, Bill Simmons, like a bunch of the guys I listen to drop a bunch of they drop a bunch of F-bombs, and I'm like, tonight was kind of fun. I might for bLITZ, I might just never put it on my Facebook so we can do this on bLITZ because I'm Thud Football. I'm going to keep it clean because I've got a base built up.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm a teacher and I want to be able to continue to do this while I'm teaching. You know,
what grade do you teach?
I'm middle school special ed math, 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. It's a lot of it's a
yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah.
So I know all about TikTok and all that. And my wife's younger.
Yeah.
She's in her late 20s. So she watches like TikTok all the time. Like she probably just sent me a bunch of TikToks. I didn't even see it. Mm-hmm. So she's in bed right now. I bet she's just TikToking or playing her dinosaur game.
She's probably doing your demise because she puts her milk in her cereal first.
Oh, I want to
probably full circle. Okay. I'm just saying, if anything ever happens, I'm gonna be like, ask his wife. She puts her milk in her cereal first. The cops gonna be like, that's it.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
I got one more question I want to throw you guys, and then we can wrap if y'all ready. Okay.
Yep.
I'm actually like this woke me up, so I'm gonna probably be up for 2 more hours now. Watch. Med's like, not me. It's 11. I just saw him. He's like, no. Okay. So pre-draft, and it's not fair because the draft is going to influence this heavily. Right now, we know where the Chiefs are at. They're the team to beat in the AFC. Where do you guys think? I'd like to focus on our two teams. What do you think? Because I'm actually like I watched the video YouTube on this. Where are the Packers? Like, and the team that I like feel very similarly about in the AFC would be Houston. Where are they right now? I'm really curious because I'm like, Yeah, you could just say like they're going to be a contender. I don't know if that's true. They're so young.
We don't know.
I don't know. The draft is going to be huge for both teams. It really is.
There's not enough film. Just like we don't know what the Bears are going to be.
And the Packers are so wildly up and down, and so was as good as Stroud was. He did hold on to the ball a little bit too long too, and he's got stuff to clean up. So did Jordan Love. Like he was. There was games he looked like I was like, what the fuck am I watching? The first few weeks, I was like, dude, what is this? After that first Bears game, because he loved to beat up on the Bears, he took after Rodgers on that, and then he fell fucking flat for a few weeks. And when Aaron Jones went out, and they had a bad early midseason stretch.
I was gonna say 4 or 5 games where it was just horrible.
I was like, I'm not sold. My dad was.
I was like, yeah, finally.
He's like, finally, they screwed up. So I need to see more than. I'm happy they hadn't dropped the bag yet, because I need to see more than 8 games. That's not enough. It's not. And I'm really impressed with the Texans, though, to do that with a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. What they did was that turnaround was fucking awesome. But I think that you might see both teams with similar records next year, honestly. And they might just be scary in the playoffs.
Now they have expectations. Nobody knew what they were going to do. They have a full year of film on that coach and Jordan Love. Nobody knew what was going to happen. And the Packers at one point in time were struggling until they beat the Chiefs, I think. And then they took off and got good. Like, did you guys win 5 of your last 7 or something like that?
Yeah, we won like 6 of 8. The Chiefs game was
so I would not get too hyped, and I hate when the media.
No, I'm not.
You're great as a Packers fan, because the Packers, the media is leaving y'all alone for some odd reason. They're like, they're in Green Bay. We're going to talk very little about them, and that's great. But Houston's going to have all this expectation. Watch, they're supposed to win the division, and we all know what happens after NFL defensive coordinators get a year of film on you. We've seen it. We know what happens. A lot of times stuff changes. So nobody knew what DeMeco Ryan was running. Nobody knows. So we'll see. We'll see. I think you guys are in a good shape, but I think you're very similar to Texans, where there's just not enough for us to 100% know.
I completely agree. And I really like the Josh Jacobs pickup, but I'm hoping it actually, he's been wildly up and down. Me and Matt have talked about it. So
he plays. Listen, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. You don't have to worry about it. I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, God. NFL Outdated just saw my last one. The fucker. He's been fucking telling me here's my problem. He's telling me they're going to be like 5-12 or 7-10. He's a Bears fan.
Is he a Bears fan?
He is a Bears fan.
Look at the.
I'm just saying.
Eric's looking at my.
I'm just saying that they know about 5-12 seasons and 4 and.
Yeah, you guys, they're the champion of that. I've had
so I mean, you got to give some credence to that, because they kind of understand. I mean, that's like if a Browns fan comes up to you and says you guys aren't going to be good.
Oh no, I know. At this point, I'm like, when was your last quarterback you've ever had that you can actually tell me as a franchise quarterback? And if you give me Jay fucking Cutler, I swear to God,
I'll give you Jay fucking Cutler.
Not you. Like another Bears fan that's not sensible. Probably like
Dave never had one.
No, what? Sid Luckman?
The last Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. Now I know that Trubisky went to a Pro Bowl, but it was Jim McMahon. 85.
Okay, and I knew he was going to say that. But again, that was one of the greatest teams I had ever seen in my life. He just didn't have to screw it up. He was the Alex Smith that could win you a game. That's
all you had to do is turn around and hand it to Sweetness.
That's what I'm saying. So outstanding.
That defense.
Walter
Payton. God, that D was so fucking
Willie
good.
Gold. Like, I mean, you know that's a good team when you got them in Tech Mobile.
Oh, absolutely.
There was 8 teams in Tech Mobile in the original, and one of them.
He's not a Caleb fan. Caleb actually put that on there.
Dude, I'm bringing you on this show.
Caleb couldn't even light up college football
in fucking December when the Bears.
I got a question. I don't want to throw stuff. I'm not trying to throw shade or talk shit about you guys, because I know you guys were in the Bears in the situation that you guys were in. You had to trade Justin Fields. You would have had to pay him $25 million next year. I understand the concept. It's better to win with a young quarterback before you pay them. I understand they're building around. They're going through the draft. I get it. People are saying they're doing the Chiefs model, but you know what? For 20 years, everybody kept copying Tom Brady's model, and nobody succeeded with that.
Agree.
But my issue is, and I just want to know from a Bears fan,
okay,
When have you ever seen the next ever or the person that compares to so-and-so succeed? Because they're comparing him to the next Mahomes. He throws like him. He does.
Well, and
when have you seen that succeed?
The Bears haven't built. He was a Fields guy. I'm going to give NFL a day to this. And Med was the one who pointed out. He was really upset when he was gone. He loved him.
I understand the reason
why. The Bears haven't. They don't. And I hate this. I feel bad as a Packers fan.
No,
like I actually would love. No, I feel bad.
When he wants the rivalry.
It sucks. It's like the Lions. I'm like, when the Packers were out, I was like, come on, Lions, get there. And they should have. That was unlucky. But whatever. That's another story. Like we can talk about that another day. But they haven't built a system. Like I love what they did with Keenan Allen, but they haven't had that ownership. I've heard about this on multiple podcasts I've been listening to in my break. And they've got too many guys.
I'll tell you after he's done.
The owner. They've got too many people going to the owner, and they just have not been able to build a system for success for these quarterbacks. They also haven't been able to get a fucking receiver. Like this is the first time you guys have had two good ones. If fucking Keenan Allen can stay healthy, since when?
So no shit stat is our leading receiver was a guy back in the 1970s who had 4,127 yards.
I agree with that with NFL dated. And yeah.
But we just said they couldn't build a quarterback since Jim McMahon. So this is not a new thing.
No,
but outside of them, when have you ever seen the next Jordan? Nobody. Nope, it wasn't until Kobe, but Kobe wasn't the next Jordan when he came in. The next Tom Brady, no next happened. And this is the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying that he's not good.
One of the reasons I wouldn't draft him. I wouldn't draft Caleb number one.
So, like, as a Bears fan, do you have any reservations about? I know Justin Fields, he's gone, but like Caleb Williams. Like,
yes, no, I have a huge. Me personally, I'm not big on Caleb Williams because it just feels like sometimes he would collapse when really like crunch time. And it was a similar thing. Now, also, Isaac could tell you, I was a Fields guy too.
I am.
Because it was kind of someone you knew the demons. You know, the only thing that I think that really spelled the end for Fields was the fact that he couldn't close out games sometimes. There were 3 games that we lost where we had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and usually it was a turnover that would actually spark the return, and then we lost the game. It happened 3 times. I think that, and what happened in the last game against the Packers kind of spelled the end for him.
Ooh, that's exactly.
And that's the other thing. Me and this guy are actually agreeing.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah, no, I prefer Jaden Daniels because look at what the competition level was between the Pac-12 and the SEC. If you watch college football, you know that the SEC is a much better conference. They're playing against pros that are in college. And, you know, it's just, you know, I would actually say Daniels, May, and then Caleb, and in that order. And I'm not a JJ McCarthy person. I think he's a second-round talent, but that's just me. But Caleb, the thing about him that scares me, and I know a lot of people talk about the emotions of the game and everything like that. Chicago is a hard town to play for.
Getting old sucks. I can't hold it for 2 hours anymore.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm younger than y'all.
But Chicago is a tough city to play for. And I mean, we're known more for our defense and our running backs than anything. And that's why we haven't had a $4,000 quarterback. That's why we haven't had a receiver that has received over 5,000 yards. We finally have, like Isaac said, that number 1 receiver in DJ Moore. And personally, I would have been happy if we would have actually go with Marvin Harrison Jr. with the first overall pick and then pick up someone later, possibly. Because right now, I don't see it. And, you know, I know a lot of people talk about generational talents, and that is another word that people like to throw up against the wall and everything. Mm-hmm. But I saw a major step back with Caleb from his sophomore year to his junior year because it felt like he was trying to do too much.
I agree. I'm going to be really intrigued what they do. I mean, I think they're just going to pick Caleb, but if they get creative here, which Poles has done, this leaves a lot open for interpretation. And I think we're going to know a lot more with that by our mock draft. There's going to be a lot more information and rumors that'll be fun, and it'll be right before the draft in a few weeks. So I think it'll be really interesting.
Do you guys know the last good NFL quarterback that came out of UFC?
USC.
I'm sorry.
UFC. UFC.
Out of USC, Southern California. What's the last good NFL quarterback that came out of USC?
You know what's sad? The first one that comes to mind,
Carson Palmer.
That liner.
Yeah. 2002. Yeah. And Carson Palmer was probably a better college player than he was an NFL player.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's another thing. No, USC, there's a couple places I don't draft quarterbacks from. USC and Alabama. Those are two places I don't draft them from. Okay, and Ohio State. I'm sorry, but I'm not an Ohio State. I know Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. I know CJ Stroud, but I'm not an Ohio State person. But
yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, honestly, I think
LSU,
the Dolphins are about to have a big decision to make because, like, I think Tyreek Hill more than any player in the league, and y'all want good job winning this 2 Super Bowls without that guy because that motherfucker can run. But he made Tua look good, and they're still not sold with him and Waddle. It's like, and the sad thing is me and Matt have talked about it. It's a little bit off topic, but I was actually like, it's not like the biggest arm, but like if the Chargers do get stupid, well, not stupid, but they let go of Justin Herbert, or if the Cowboys actually let go of Dak, those are 2 much better fits. You need somebody with a bigger arm slinging the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in Miami, not Tua. That's the worst fit. Like, that's a whole other
people. I said Dak Prescott would be a better fit in Miami than Tua.
Yeah. And if Herbert leaves the Chargers, I completely agree. It's sad leaving when I'm on my record number of people watching. I almost just want to keep going.
You're good.
We just hit 150.
We got to come back.
We just hit 150 people watching live.
Oh, cool.
Let's go!
Which I've never even fucking hit 100 on this shit.
I've never gone live on Twitter, so I would not know what that's like.
Twitter's huge,
man.
Oh,
I got it on Twitter and YouTube. Before we go, one thing that we actually need to touch up on is you heard us talk about a mock draft. We actually got an 8-man podcast mock draft coming up in April. Eric is going to be there. Isaac's going to be there. This guy's going to be here. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be 3 rounds, and we might do it live. I don't know yet. We might figure that out, but that's in discussions.
First round live and then recording the next 2. If everybody's game, we'll just do the whole freaking thing. We can take a little hiatus and come back live like 10, 15 minutes. But if everybody's game,
I mean, if we do it right, it wouldn't even be that hard because, like, for instance, my first pick is until 10. So, I mean, I the second round, and 2 of my teams don't have second round picks. So I'm like, depending on the way you do it, if you have one of those teams, like, then cool. What? I pick here. My next pick is on the 27th. Okay, I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom real quick.
I'm going to make a sandwich.
You're going to have to help me keep track of making sure I get the right picks on people because I'm going to be running it probably because we're going to do it through Shady, I think. Right? Yeah. So. Okay. No, I can do it. The funny thing is I've ran fantasy drafts, so this is going to help me with this because we're going to do, Eric, I don't know if Med's doing it yet too, but I'm going to do a live fantasy football draft I'm hyping stuff up for the future in late August. And we're going to do, I don't know how many people we've gotten for this one yet, but it's going to be a new fantasy league, but we're also going to do an all-time, like a month before that at the end of July, early August. Yeah. Did he tell you? We're going to do an all-time fantasy football draft, which I think will be fucking great. Like you can draft Barry Sanders. You can draft Walter Payton. You can draft Tom Brady.
I brought it up to you when we did the top 15.
I'm 100% that would be game over. Like that would be, oh my God. Could you imagine like if we could actually
we're going to do it, man. It's going to be fucking great. I'm going to have to find a website. I don't know. Like that's the only challenge. I'll work on it though. But the mock draft is going to be easy. The fantasy thing, it's just a league. We're going to do a brand new league that people are going to watch live on ESPN. I'm going to probably pick ESPN. I like it over Yahoo, but yeah.
But Yahoo,
have you tried to? Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome. Like that's gonna be so much. I'm just in my head. I'm thinking.
I know, right? Well, like, I don't know if we're gonna do IDP like with defense.
Nobody else thought. I know who's gonna take Sterling Sharp, though. I know who's gonna do that.
Man, I loved him.
Isaac.
I wouldn't take him in the first round though, but man, the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame though is a travesty.
It's crazy.
And I try not to be
a
Packer fan. Like I'm excited about my team, but I'm not thinking Super Bowl. We got to tackle the San Fran hurdle, which we can't yet. Anyways, LaFleur has not gotten by Shanahan. We've got to do that first. And I'm going to be honest. I see a team better in my own division. I think Detroit's going to be hella tough this year.
Listen. I'm going to tell everybody right now, okay? First of all, if you watch my podcast, you know I hate Jared Goff. I can't stand that punk, okay? Jared Goff. I hate him, okay? I said he was going to suck when he got drafted because I saw him on what's the stupid show? On Hard Knocks. I saw him on Hard Knocks. I'm like, he's going to suck. So he has to completely suck. Listen. The Lions are going to suck because this is what's going to happen. Are you ready?
You think they're going to have like a hangover kind of thing?
He got paid. And once he gets paid, because he's going to get paid,
soft.
He's going to get paid during the offseason. And then next year, their great thing is going to drop 2 to 3 games. And then the year after that, they're going to drop 2 to 3 more. And then he'll be on his third team.
Well, it sounds like great to me because what's going to happen, unless the Bears get like land their quarterback in the future, because they definitely have to do that. And it ain't going to be Minnesota. So. Like they've got weapons, but they've got that quarterback problem as well. So Green Bay is just gonna.
Jared Goff is a contract year player. Watch, he got paid immediately after the Super Bowl run. And then he went downhill. Yeah,
man. Oh, that's fucking cool. So did you see what he said? He's going to the draft. Man, I wish I'll go live with any man. That's fucking awesome. So, other thing we have not pitched on what he's saying. Me and Med, we talked about it. We're going to do a live draft coverage. So NFL Outdated, if you don't do your own show, I absolutely want to bring you on, especially when the Bears pick. We're going to be bringing Pete Collins. We're going to try. Well, no, he's doing the same thing. Damn it. Pete is a Patriots fan. We're going to try to bring him on. We want to bring different guests on. Eric, if you're game to come on when the Chiefs pick, we're going to do the whole first round of the draft. That's going to be our last live show for a few months.
I'll be the last pick.
Exactly. But seriously, we want to bring people on when their teams come on. Yeah. So if we can get other people to come on with us. Yeah.
I'm down.
I've got some Packer people lined up. So
yeah, I am definitely down. I'll get to cuss out the screen because I know what they're going to do. They're going to pick that stupid fast guy with the receiver.
Xavier Worthy.
No, whatever his name is, nobody cares about him.
What was his actual 40?
I don't care.
What the fuck did he get?
I don't care.
4.20. It was stupid. I agree. What was his weight? Was he like 155 pounds?
I think he weighs like what?
He's 168.
They're lying. How tall is he?
I'm not lying.
How tall is he?
Right?
How tall is he?
Like he's about 6 foot.
Hold on, I'm
5'11".
I think it's 5'11".
I
looked up Eli just bit on our point earlier. Yeah, no, he's 6'1". Holy shit. Xavier Worthy
6'1" and what's 178?
It said 172 listed on, but I saw 168 the other day. Eli actually he kind of shocked me. Eli had 30 or more passing TDs. How many seasons do y'all think? Over under 2.5.
Had more than what?
Do you think he had more or how many Eli Manning, how many seasons do you think he had at least 30 passing TDs, not including the playoffs? Over under 2.5.
How many years he played for? Like 2.
He played for
about 14 years, 12 or 14,
I think. 2004 to 2019.
He got lucky. So it's got to be like maybe
he did it once,
3 times. 30, 31, and 35. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be because
it wasn't very exciting.
Practical Burrs, Amari Toomer. When you start thinking about the receivers he had and the running backs that he had with Daniel Jacobs or Daniel whatever and Brandon Jacobs, and the defense he had, there was multiple times that he got in very close red zone.
Yeah. Okay, and the last thing I was really shitty with it earlier. So yes.
Okay, I'm just letting you know in college his weight is listed at 160 pounds. This dude is like 154 soaking wet. He's a $145 with shoes on. He is not 185. They're lying there. This is NFL talk. I saw that dude. There is no. I don't even think
he could just run by everybody.
Yeah,
no. And you know what, Eric? And Eric, you're going to see him again because at pick 32, they're going to.
I know we're going to draft him.
You're worth.
You know they're doing it. You didn't already have Marquise Brown. You guys needed another speedster. That's what you need. I don't think
we will because we draft smart. And I'm sorry. You need more than speed to be a receiver in the NFL. We have 100. This guy would have not been drafted in the first round if he did not run a 4.2.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, so you know what? He's a 4th round draft talent. Take his ass to the 4th round.
Dude, I've even seen it in like the draft mock base, like the stuff we do is for our mock drafts. I watch dudes just fall because they're 40. And I'm sorry. I've heard some other stuff about Kinchins and some safeties because that's one of the positions I'm focusing on for the Packers, obviously.
That's why Puka fell last year.
Yeah, but you can't just it's not just 40. There's more to the NFL than the 40-yard dash. So yeah. Okay, last couple things. We really screwed up on this in the beginning. Oops, sorry. And I'll send them a message because that is one thing they asked for. We joined Ohana Sports Network. We're still on Podcast Boys Network and obviously Shady Sports Network. So now we're on 3 networks. So oops, I goofed up. They have an awesome show, Mac and Cheese Podcast, and I hadn't told Med this yet. Sometime in April, they'll be coming on Fun Football. I also have got a cool guest lined up for Friday night for Fun Football Podcast. Big Cheesehead from Twitter. It's actually he's about to start his own show, so it's gonna be pretty cool. And then we've got
some
obviously
Med. And some guy named Med. Because it is your Friday. Show. I'm coming on there, but yeah.
Not Friday. That's one with Bill next week.
Oh, next week? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, you're good. No, I didn't forget about you. That's next week.
It happens.
I mean, if you want to join us Friday, I'm totally.
Oh no, my wife would kill me.
No, I wanted to do one with Bill before he goes on his trip, so that's on my other show. So, Eric, dude, I had an absolute blast. It really feels weird wrapping this. We're at 165 people. I almost want to keep going, but this was a lot of fun, man. I had a blast. Med, this was awesome, man. That was really cool. Yeah, that was a good time. Any final thoughts?
April 21st.
Yeah, we're gonna
have 8 people on.
My dad is man. We're gonna
and a draft board,
dude. We're gonna have a blast.
Steve is great, man. I love doing shows with him. We got to get him on again soon. Med just had him on his show, but Pete, you're gonna have fun with Pete. He's a character.
I like him.
He's great.
A lot of fun.
He does the Foxborough Fellas podcast. You know what I'm gonna start doing at the end of shows? Go check out Millie Goats. Go to obviously check out Shots from the Sideline. That's Med. My show, Fun Football. Go check out Vegas Benchwarmers here on Twitter, on YouTube. Millie Goats is an awesome show. Go check out NFL Outdated. I'm going to give some shout outs to some people. Go check out NFL Outdated. Talking Packers with Steve. Awesome show. I already talked about Mac and Cheese podcast. Go check them out. Foxborough Fells podcast. That's Pete. Mm-hmm. Med, who else is on our mock draft? Did I miss anybody with a Twitter?
You got to get Lincoln from American Football Network.
American Football Network. I'm so sorry.
Another Podcast Boys show. So,
we're building our network up. So, Eric, any final thoughts?
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I had a blast. This was so much fun. Cannot wait for April 21st.
Yeah, we need to do some stuff next season. It'll be fun, for sure. Med, anything? Any final stuff?
So if anyone out there, this summer I'm going to be taking off a little bit, and I'm planning on doing some all-time list and stuff, just some fun stuff to actually be able to actually record, so it's not time sensitive. I know Eric is down for a couple. Isaac says he's down for it. If anyone wants to join, we're going to be doing like it. We already did an all-time receivers list. I want to do quarterbacks, running backs, defensive linemen, get some Deacon Jones in there with some Reggie Whites. We're talking some old school stuff.
Bruce Allen. Lawrence Taylor.
Bruce Smith? Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, Bruce Smith. Yeah.
I was like, who's Bruce Allen? And he was like a GM.
That's my tired brain. Yeah, I went to Bruce Allen, GM.
Go to bed, Isaac.
All-time great GM. There you go. That shows you how tired I am. I've been carrying exhausted energy this entire time.
You're hungry. Go have a Snickers, motherfucker.
I ate a fruit by the foot And
he was counting down right before the thing. He was
during
like,
the show, and I had a Coke Zero. So yeah, that's where we're at.
And an Angry Orchard.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
The sugar is big.
What my other idea for the recorded stuff? I want to do the all times because I'm gonna carry enough for like June, July, and the beginning of August because I'm a teacher and the beginning of August is a nightmare.
It'll be about 8 shows.
I'm gonna do at least that many. I'm gonna do some Eric, if you're game, and Matt, if you're game, I'm gonna do some divisional after the draft because there won't be a lot of free agency signings or injuries, so they're not time sensitive leading into training camp. I'm gonna do some divisional, like we rank the 4 teams where they hierarchy where they go. We can do I think we can do those in like 15, 20 minutes. Honestly, I wanted if it'd be cool if we could knock out all 8 divisions. I think those will be quick. We could do like 2 in one night. So
no time at all.
We'll call it 2-a-days.
2-a-days. That'd be fun. That's cool. I like that. That was good. Thank you to all the listeners for coming back and my first show back in like seriously, I don't know, almost 2. It's right after the Super Bowl, so a while, 6 weeks. Yeah, that was pretty cool. They have 166 people watching. That's ridiculous. Anyways, that's awesome. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. It'll be on YouTube. Please. Oh, one last thing, Matt, I didn't forget. Please go subscribe to the Vegas Benchwarmers on YouTube. I don't know what your current goal is. I know you guys have pretty good numbers.
Just a hobby. Just a hobby. We just
there you go.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to Med and go subscribe to Fun Football Pod. And we will see you again on this show soon. And I'll be back Friday night. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.